democracy must serve a purpose. And in our context in Africa and specific to our region, people's aspirations are simple. They want to see democracy providing dividends. And it is true that if you look at the past 2 decades, whilst we tried to deepen democracy, there have been widening inequalities. There have been, in my view, performances of our economies in such a way that a very tiny minority elite have become wealthier, but an overwhelming majority of the people continue to be poorer. And when you look at that and you try to understand that governments are struggling to provide even basic social services, then we have clearly seen how many countries have struggled with health facilities to respond to the pandemic of COVID-19. The frustration that people are feeling and how some of them, out of that frustration, come out on the street to celebrate a coup d'etat is completely misplaced, because it is never a military government that can do better in terms of responding to the challenges that you and we have been describing. It is when we consolidate the democracies and insist on accountability mechanisms for the leadership to provide the services that carry along the aspirations of the people that we can go forward. So in that regard, coup d'etats can never be an alternative. And that is why today, the ECOWAS leaders must strengthen their resolve and keep the focus and make it very clear that the community of West African states have a zero tolerance for coup d'etats and unconstitutional overthrow of governments, and no military leader will be accepted legitimately to be part of the West African community of leaders, and now work to accompany them to bring back constitutional order. And that, for me, is the threshold. You cannot lower that bar in order to be able to solve these problems. We solve them diplomatically and we solve them preventively, but you don't compromise on your principle, you don't compromise on your values.